Hey there, patriots and truth seekers. Welcome back to the channel where we cut through the noise, pull no punches, and dive headfirst into the hard truths the mainstream won't touch with a 10-foot pole. Today, we're tackling the shocking, embarrassing, and frankly infuriating saga of ESKOM, South Africa's once proud electricity giant, now reduced to a decaying, debt-ridden monument to corruption and incompetence. A living, flickering reminder of what happens when ideology replaces merit and when the builders of a nation are vilified while the wreckers are handed the reins. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your electricity bill is funding failure and why the lights keep going out. Before we spark this fuse, don't forget, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and let the ads run for at least 30 seconds to help keep this truth train running. Your support matters. And if you're fired up by what you hear today, join the channel membership and drop a super thanks to keep the lights on, figuratively and literally. Let's rewind the clock to 1923 when ESKOM, originally the Electricity Supply Commission or ESKOM, was founded under the stewardship of capable, visionary white engineers. You know, people who actually understood what they were doing. In a mere few decades, this utility turned South Africa into a continental powerhouse. By the 1960s, thanks to meticulous planning and competent execution, ESKOM had expanded the national generation capacity from a modest 4,000 megawatts to a formidable 40,000 megawatts by 1990. And this wasn't just any electricity. This was stable, reliable, cheap power, built largely on coal, the abundant natural resource our nation is blessed with. Let's not forget Coberg, the only commercial nuclear power station on the African continent, operational since 1984. Designed and constructed by French engineers under the watchful eye of a skilled, mostly white engineering class in South Africa, Coberg has operated with better reliability than most newer installations today. Back then, brownouts were unheard of, tariffs were low, development was fast, and South Africa was running like a well-oiled machine because it was. Now, fast forward to today. ESKOM is an economic sinkhole with a staggering 464 billion rands in debt. That's right, nearly R500 billion in the red. A report by News 24 confirmed that ESKOM's debt has ballooned thanks to a combination of financial mismanagement, operational inefficiencies, and rampant corruption. Every month the utility bleeds around 1 billion rands, yes with a B, due to theft, fraud, sabotage, and plain old negligence. Stage 6 load shedding? That's not an anomaly anymore, that's the new normal. For those unfamiliar, that's up to 12 hours a day without power. Welcome to progress, post-1994 style. So what exactly happened? Here's the short version. 1994 happened, and with it, the ideology over merit approach of the ANC government. Under their watchful eye, ESKOM went from electricity for all to enrichment for a few. The 1998 ESKOM Amendment Act paved the way for cadre deployment and political interference. Under the ANC, ESKOM's management structure became more about ticking racial boxes than hiring competent professionals. The race-based hiring policies, euphemistically called transformation, decimated institutional knowledge and technical capacity. The result? Catastrophe. Let's look at Madupi and Kuzil, South Africa's two mega coal-fired power stations. These were supposed to be the pride of modern energy infrastructure. Originally budgeted at 78 billion rands, they've now cost the nation an eye-watering 450 billion rands. Largely due to corruption, poor design changes, delays, and surprise tender fraud. Roughly 139 billion rands of that was outright looted during the construction phase. And don't hold your breath, they're still not fully operational years after their projected launch. Kuzil alone was recently offline due to chimney failures. Basic engineering? Apparently not in the ANC playbook. Debt? Let's dig deeper. In 2011, ESKOM's debt stood at around 160 billion rands. Just a decade later, it had tripled to 483 billion rands. That's not just bad management. That's a financial horror show. And no, this isn't due to global energy crises or some external boogeyman. This is homegrown disaster, cooked right here in our own corrupt kitchens. And while we're at it, let's talk workforce. In 1980, under white-led management, ESKOM employed 66,000 people and produced over 36,000 megawatts of stable power. By 2021, the workforce had shrunk to 42,749, but with productivity falling off a cliff. According to internal audits, nearly 6,000 of those workers are redundant, contributing nothing to operations while costing taxpayers around 3.8 billion rands per year. But you can't fire them because that's not inclusive. Instead, the skilled, experienced white engineers, the ones who literally kept the lights on, were pushed out in the name of equity. Not excellence, not performance, just race quotas. And now, surprise, surprise, we have technicians who don't know how to maintain a turbine, but they sure know how to organize a strike. Electricity tariffs? Oh, they've increased by over 650% since 2007. Your grandmother's pension check? That's not paying for her groceries anymore. It's subsidizing ESKOM executives' bonuses and luxury German sedans. In 2023, the National Energy Regulator of South Africa, NTCSA, approved a 18.65% price hike for consumers because nothing says efficiency like paying more for less. Municipalities owe ESKOM over 58.5 billion rands, with Soweto residents alone accounting for over 5.2 billion rands. But go ahead, keep blaming apartheid. That excuse must come with a bottomless coffee refill. And the corruption, it's not just embedded, it's celebrated. The Guptas looted 11.7 billion rands via dodgy coal contracts. Consultancy firm Deloitte walked off with 207 million rands for services so vague they could be called vaporware. The last white CEO, Andre de Ruyter, dared to expose a 1 billion rand per month crime syndicate operating inside ESKOM. His reward? A cup of coffee laced with cyanide. That's the ANC's idea of performance reviews. And the official response from government? Deafening silence. Because acknowledging the rot would mean admitting that maybe, just maybe, the people who built the country weren't the problem after all. Let's not forget their brilliant solution, splitting ESKOM into 3 entities: generation, transmission and distribution. Because if a company's failing, clearly the best option is to clone its dysfunction and give each part its own set of politically appointed cronies. The National Transmission Company of South Africa, NTCSA, operational as of July 2024, is already showing signs of becoming a jobs for pals paradise, not a fix. Green energy? Great, in theory, but the Integrated Resource Plan, IRP, aims to add 6,000 megawatts of solar and wind by 2030. Never mind that these sources are intermittent, unreliable, and depend on a stable baseload grid, which ESKOM no longer provides. Meanwhile, coal, the cheap, local, job-creating backbone of South African energy, is being phased out to appease European donors and green NGOs, because clearly virtue signaling is more important than running a country. International reputation. In 2019, ESKOM was officially the world's largest sulfur dioxide emitter, #1 in something at least. And the foreign policy brilliance continues. Zimbabwe owes ESKOM 400 million rands in unpaid electricity bills. But instead of holding them accountable, the ANC keeps exporting power to ZANU-PF's dictatorship for free. Because African solidarity is obviously more important than paying salaries or fixing substations. The final insult? ESKOM's decay is a mirror of South Africa's collapse, a once thriving nation, built by a competent, disciplined minority, handed over to ideologues who replaced engineering with slogans and management with comradeship. The result? A 3.2% GDP contraction in 2019, before COVID even arrived. But yes, let's keep chanting Africa for Africans while using candles to find our way to the toilet at night. There you have it, ESKOM, the ANC's crowning achievement in failure, a utility turned joke, a nation turned cautionary tale. And if this made you angry, good. It should. Don't let this rot go unchecked. Join the channel membership, support us with a super thanks, and let the ads run for 30 seconds to help us keep bringing you the truth. Subscribe, share, comment below. Tell us how many hours of load shedding you survived today. And remember, the truth doesn't spread itself. Until next time, keep your generators fueled and your spirits high.